This is my boy. I'm gonna defend Colin too.
Well,
the problem with Colin Kaepernick is that there's this backlash of him kneeling during the national anthem. That's all this is about. Right. There's this patriotic country that we are, that when that national anthem comes on, it's like Jesus Christ is standing on the field, and you better get down, and you better salute, and you better. That's what our flag represents to so many people. When he was, first of all, he used to sit, and a couple players said to him, it would be more respectful to the troops if you kneel, because your protest is against police brutality.
Brutality, right.
One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right. That's not right by anyone's standards.
Right. But he always admitted he had nothing bad to say about the military. He supported the military.
I have great respect for men and women that have fought for this country. I have family, I have friends that have gone and fought for this country. And they fight for freedom. They fight for the people. They fight for liberty and justice for everyone. I've seen circumstances where men and women that have been in the military have come back and been treated unjustly by the country they fought for, and have been murdered by the country they fought for on our land. That's not right.
And this was a protest against police brutality against blacks. Black Lives Matter movement.
Not against blacks.
Not against, right. So he has every right under the First Amendment to do that. And people flipped out, which when you talk about the Constitution, everybody defends it. It's this living document. Scalia, all these people. Oh my God, you can't change anything. People can have bazookas and AR-15, anything they want. It's in the Constitution.
Because right, it's the Second Amendment, right?
Right. So now the First Amendment says he could do that, and no, you can't do that. That's disrespectful. So to me, when he made it clear it wasn't about the troops, because you don't want to disrespect the troops. People have died for this country. People have come back with messed up. 20 some odd people kill themselves every day. They're veterans, and it's really, really serious. But it had nothing to do with that. And once that was clear, he can't protest that a lot of black people unarmed get shot by cops and get away with it. Guy in Staten Island was choked on the ground in cuffs. Said, I can't breathe, like 5 times, and the guy choked him to death, and nothing happened. And finally they fired him this year. How can you not be angry if you're, a guy like him? He's passionate, and he should be. So for me, let's get back to football. This guy was a freak of nature.
No, I get into those arguments all the time. All the time. Friends of mine will be like, well, how come anytime a black athlete does something, they say it's an athletic move? Anytime a white athlete does it, they say it's an intelligent move. And it's like, well, fair enough, man. It just depends on what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, if you read a defense, white or black, that's an intelligent move, right? But if you take off from the foul line, jump over 9 other dudes, and throw the shit down, those other 9 guys aren't standing there like, fuck, why didn't I think of that shit? Here I am dribbling around, guys. That's some superhero shit.
This guy was a Deshaun Watson kind of guy. He could run, he could throw. He had a 60% completion career percentage.
So he's no Lamar Jackson, but Deshaun Watson.
I mean, man, that one playoff season when he was putting up many yards. I think he ran for 150. He was showing some Lamar Jackson. And listen, Lamar Jackson's not 6'4", 230 pounds.
Right.
This is a big, strong guy that was in the Super Bowl. And if it wasn't for idiot Harbaugh and his terrible clock management, at the end of that game with all those timeouts, this kid needed a timeout, brought to the sidelines, and he probably wins that Super Bowl against Flacco. So this is a guy that was one play away from winning the Super Bowl. He's a freak athlete.
Harry, I'm sorry. Do you notice any tendencies that you may have when you're describing certain, I don't want to say, types of players?
I don't follow. I call them like I see them.
Okay. You know what, Harry? How about this? How about we name some players, and when we say their names, you throw out the first adjective that comes to mind.
Yes.
Okay?
I am game.
Yes. All right. Julian Edelman.
Industrious.
Marshawn Lynch.
Specimen.
Stephen Hauschka.
Stick-to-itiveness.
Cam Chancellor.
Miracle baby.
Luke Wilson.
Cerebral.
LeGarrette Blount.
Voodoo.
Rob Ninkovich.
A tactical mastermind.
What? Darrell Revis.
Magical powers he learned from his grandma.
Come on, Harry. What?
I can't even. I calls them like I sees them.
Okay, I got one. Russell Wilson.
Hybrid.
Hybrid.
He said hybrid.
He said hybrid.
He said hybrid.
He did say hybrid, though.
That came out his mouth. Brains, gifts, hybrid.
Okay, you know what?
And you got teams in the NFL with Rivers playing quarterback, with all these Allens except for Josh Allen. You got guys that are so terrible playing in the NFL right now.
So many bum Allens.
And you got Haskins and Danny Dimes that are turnover machines. You have Fitzmagic and Rosen, all these garbage players. And this guy has more talent in his pinky than any of them. So let's get over this whole bullshit about him kneeling. He has every right to do it. If the owner wants to fine him, if the NFL wants to fine him, then fine him. But the bottom line is it has nothing to do with our troops. Let's get past that. And let's get back to football. A lot of these guys are beating up girls. They're doing drugs. Ray Lewis may have killed somebody.
Yeah, I stabbed a man in the heart. I saw that. Brick killed a guy. Did you throw a trident? Yeah, there were horses and a man on fire, and I killed a guy with a trident.
Yet he's getting the Hall of Fame. Everybody adores him. He's on a TV. Listen, people have done a lot worse than just kneel to protest Black Lives Matter. And they do, and there's no justice system in this world. And this justice system is blind to that, in my opinion. So I love his passion. He wore his Kunta Kinte shirt.
Excuse me. Hey, it's Kunta Kinte! What can I do with you, boy?
And people made a big outrage. Ben Shapiro's reading off his laptop like, oh, he's comparing himself to somebody getting whipped. I mean, give me a break. That's not what he was saying.
This stand wasn't for me. This stand wasn't because I feel like I'm being put down in any kind of way. This is because I'm seeing things happen to people that don't have a voice, people that don't have a platform to talk and have their voices heard and affect change. So I'm in a position where I can do that, and I'm going to do that for people that can't.
And he was basically saying the blacks are second-rate citizens, and he shouldn't be banished by the NFL, and he thinks there's collusion. I agree with him 1,000%. How else can you explain that people are playing these quarterbacks that can't even hit the broadside of a barn? Not Lamar, and nobody's signing this guy. So anyway, Kareem Hunt kicked a woman, and he's back less than a year later. What did this guy do that was so terrible that he's banished? It's terrible. Put the best athletes on the field. He's a great athlete. Put him back on the field.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a great point about Kareem Hunt and, you know, obviously Tyreek Hill, for example, some of these guys that have done a lot worse than just
Pac-Man Jones
exercise their their protest, so to say, for, you know, social issues. And it makes you wonder, I mean, is this just censorship? Is this just Goodell and the NFL saying, look, that's not, you know, we're not okay with our players having a view on social issues. You're an NFL player. That's what you are, and that's all you are.
He was just watching Terrell, right? Anytime I would bring up, look at man, that guy's talking trash, he would just like flip out. He won't shut up! You know, those people get like so mad they're not even looking at you. Their eyes are up. You just shut up and play the game!
You're a quarterback, or you're a running back, you're a wide receiver, you're a defensive guy. I can see, you know, I can see that side of it. I just think it becomes a bit of a challenge when now with Kaepernick. See, I have no problem with what he did. I have no problem with the fact that he kneeled, of course. I have no problem. I think that absolutely, I agree with what you were saying in the beginning. Look, if you believe in our Constitution, and you're all about America is so great, and what makes America so great is the fact that we have the laws that we have in the Constitution and all that, then right, you don't get to pick and choose. So you don't get to say that, you know, how dare you talk about taking away my assault rifles, you know what I mean? Right. My weapons of frickin' war.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I call BS on the students who perform for the camera. I call BS on the Oscar-winning tears.
You sound angry with the kids.
No, not at all. I have no feelings about the kids.
Because my constitutional right says that I'm allowed to own it.
Right.
But then get up on your pulpit and try to judge somebody for exercising their right to free speech.
Right.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you.
It's so angry that people are so angry about it that they said, I'm going to stop watching football. And a lot of people did stop watching. I've actually know people that stopped watching football. It's like, but where's that outrage about the black kid getting killed?
Right.
Where's the outrage with the guy getting choked to death while he's in cuffs in custody?
Right.
There's no outrage with that.
Right.
You know, if we have these real conversations that are uncomfortable for a lot of people, if we have these conversations, there's a better understanding where both sides are coming from. And if we reach common ground and can understand what everybody's going through, we can really affect change and make sure that everybody's treated equally and has the same freedom.
Right.
But you're outraged because the guy's on his knee and you're saying, get up and play the game, and you're getting paid millions of dollars. The reason he's kneeling and the reason he's doing it on Sunday, people are like, well, you're getting paid to play football. That's all you do. The game hasn't started yet. He plays when he gets on the field.
Right.
And he has one day a week where the cameras are on him, and that's the only day that he can actually express himself. And then some kid says to their dad, this is what I want to know. Some kid says, Daddy, why is that guy kneeling? He's saying, well, you know, there's a lot of social injustice with black people in this country, and he's exercising his right that the Constitution gives him. But, you know, once that bell goes off, the whistle, he's going to play his butt off better than it. So the kid says, oh, it's a learning moment. Instead, it's like, oh, because he's an overpaid asshole and he doesn't appreciate that. He should just play and shut his mouth. It sounds like Mandango fighting. Like, just get out there and fight and shut the hell up and be lucky we pay you. Because, like, what is that? It's almost like racism. Like, we should not even have to pay you assholes. Now we got to pay you? Like, what is it?
Well,
it's got to have a racial tone.
Well, I think here's where somewhat, but I think there is this part of it. It is their work, right? It is essentially that field that they're on Sunday is their job place, right? So, yes, somebody can say, you know what? Nobody can tell me I can't have my gun. I can't own my gun at home and all that kind of stuff. But if my employer says you're not allowed to have a firearm at the workplace, then somebody has to understand that, hey, that's not somebody taking away my right to my Second Amendment, but because they are a private employer, they're allowed to make certain rules of what they allow and don't allow at the workplace.
Yeah. Nothing to be alarmed about. It's just a man pointing a bull tranquilizer at a coworker.
Dwight, you do not learn, do you? For a threat to be credible, you have...
Holy
No, you didn't. I'm sick of you and your... Oh.
It's all right. Andy approved it.
Place.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think
that's the argument. I guess
becomes
there's that argument.
The gray area of, is the NFL in the right to say, look, we have no problem if you want to protest the social injustices that are happening in this world, go ahead. You have off days, you have bye weeks, you can use Twitter, you can do whatever you want, but when you're at work, we don't want that, you know, being brought onto the workplace.
So, so 2 minutes of just being on a knee is enough to banish you from your career forever?
What do you say to the people that say, hey, you're doing the right thing, but you're going about it the wrong way?
I don't understand how it's the wrong way. To me, this is a freedom that we're allowed in this country. And going back to the military thing, it's a freedom that men and women that have fought for this country have given me this opportunity by the contributions they have made. So I don't see it as going about it the wrong way. This is something that has to be said. It has to be brought to the forefront of everyone's attention. And when that's done, I think people can realize what the situation is and then really affect change.
I don't know. Yeah. I see what you're saying, and it is a product, and if they see people turning off the TVs and people getting upset, but I would just like to see it turn around. Say, well, wait a minute, let's just turn all this anger against the injustice that he's upset about. And if we were this upset about that, people getting killed.
Or let's make sure that this isn't hijacked, because you also brought up a great point. It got hijacked to, this is a giant disrespect to the military. It's a giant disrespect to veterans, and he's given this big middle finger to every active duty service man or woman or veteran. That's not what he's doing. If he was doing,
then get rid of him.
Right. Right,
Because
absolutely.
anybody disrespects the military, or and especially if you haven't served.
Freedom isn't free. No, there's a hefty fucking fee.
Right.
Like somebody that's pretty powerful in this country.
Temporary bone spurs is a debilitating disease temporarily affecting 1 out of every 45 presidents. Sufferers experience pain that is described as mind-numbingly mild and excruciatingly fine and occasional, while its effectiveness as an excuse for military service is immediate and long-lasting. Temporary bone spurs is genetic, often appearing in cases of patients whose dads own a lot of buildings. Let's all remember to take a moment and honor those who have actually struggled temporarily.
But anyway, we won't talk about that. But when you disrespect the military, you better have served and you better have a very good reason. But there's really no way you could, the people that bled for this country and that come back with PTSDs, and I mean, you see it, it's terrible. It's just,
right. Hey, the bottom line is most of those people aren't protesting anything because they're not paying attention. Right. Because they're living in those lives that are naive to what's really going on, and they want to hold on to this, this false belief that that's the way that you honor your country. That's the way that you actually are a patriot, is to do nothing, not pay attention, not get involved, not, no, that's not, change has never come from silence. So we'll see what history has to say about Kaepernick.
There was a movie, Time to Kill, and Matthew McConaughey, Samuel L. Jackson. At the end of the movie, he tells everybody to close their eyes, and he tells a story about the black girl getting raped and almost murdered. And he tells the story, it was gruesome, it was terrible. And then he says, now imagine she's white. And then he wins the case because everybody just said, holy shit. Because it was this black girl, and they were in the deep South. It was like, yeah, it's terrible and all, but okay, now imagine it's your white daughter. So let me ask you this. What if Tom Brady was kneeling to protest black kids getting killed? You think they'd tell him he's out of football?
No.
There's your answer.
Hot, 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 hike. Brady steps back to pass. He's got an open man at the 40-yard line. And whatever is wrong with Tom Brady just seems to be getting worse. Go Broncos.
It's about him being black. Because if Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and all those guys were kneeling down, nobody would be saying shit.
Yeah, it's about.
But it's a black guy who's lucky he's a millionaire. Get your ass out there and play the freaking game. And maybe people don't realize it, but there's a lot of racism behind it. Tom Brady kneels down, Kraft would have his back, Godell would have his back, they'd all have his back. But because it's Kaepernick with his big black fro, tattoos, they don't want that being their image.
Well, and then also I think the other thing is that it didn't stay isolated to Kaepernick. Kaepernick kneeled. Yeah, it became a thing, and then all of a sudden teammates started to, and guys from other teams.
So they made an example out of him.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they blackballed him, collusion, and they had to pay him. I don't know what they paid him. Probably a lot of money. But the bottom line was it was collusion. That's illegal.
That's illegal. What you're doing is illegal.
So like all these people with the Constitution, legality and all that, that's illegal. That's fine though, because he's an asshole.
Right.
So we'll break the law there. He's allowed to kneel. Well, he's getting paid. He can't put it on his knee. Like, yeah, I don't know. For me, I see both sides of the argument, but I think it's a much stronger argument that he has the freedom to express, and let's use this to get excited and get angry and demand that this changes.
I think there's a lot of consequences that come along with this. There's a lot of people that don't want to have this conversation, that they're scared they might lose their job, or they might not get the endorsements. They might not be treated the same way. And those are things I'm prepared to handle, and those are things that other people might not be ready for.
That when a guy kills an unarmed black kid, he goes to jail.
Right.
And that people stop doing it. So they made an example out of Kaepernick. Make an example out of one of these idiot cops. And there's a lot of great cops. I have some friends in New York City cops, and it is a dangerous job.
Yeah,
but let me tell you something. There's some real bad ones. Just like there's some real bad
people
teachers.
in every right. Exactly.
There's some bad teachers.
Absolutely.
There's some bad priests.
There's some bad guys on that NFL field, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bad. Yeah.
There's some really good priests, some bad priests. I mean, my priest, he touched me very softly. He was very polite. Very, very good priest. Thank you. Thank you, Father.
Did you really just...
Okay, all right, so that's where we'll draw the line.
Bring child molestation and just try to find a little humor in that. So, no, I look. You're absolutely right about your priest being kind to do
Very
that for
kind,
you.
very kind.
But you're also, you're absolutely right about. I think the big thing is also this. This only became a story because of the era that we live in. That's the other thing. Because here's the thing, Kaepernick, here's what he didn't do. He didn't score a touchdown. And he didn't kind of try to find this moment where he knew a whole bunch of cameras were on him and he didn't go out and give some speech. He didn't make a big deal. He silently kneeled down
Silent protest
during a national anthem. Now, here's the thing. The problem is we live in this 24-hour news cycle where everybody wants a headline, everybody wants ratings, and so they look for these opportunities, and of course, it got blown up. It got made into a thing. Of course, Trump tweeting about it, all this kind of stuff. But it started with a guy just kneeling. He kneeled in protest. That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And life could have just went on. The game could have went on. Everything could have just went on.
Yeah,
but
I'm telling you,
it became something bigger than it needed to be. So that also, of course, didn't help. And
I think there's so much anger and so much jealousy about black people not that long ago were in chains.
I'm telling you, there's got to be something to that theory. I saw this show one time on runaway slaves. It was one of the most amazing programs I've ever seen in my life. Dude, when you ran away as a slave, you just didn't run to the end of the driveway and be like, fuck that job, just start walking down the street. Dude, you had to run through whole states. There's dogs chasing you, you're hurdling shit, you're swimming. Those were the first fucking triathletes. And there was nobody helping them out. There was no dude on the side of the road like, come on, man, 2 more states, you're in Ohio. Suck it up, you're looking good, looking good.
And now, they're making 20, 30, 50, hundreds of millions. There's billionaire black people now. Oprah's a billionaire. Michael Jordan's a billionaire. LeBron's close. Tiger's close. And I think it really freaking pisses people off. There was a black guy in the White House. It made people crazy. What happened to our country?
Right.
And these are, there's a lot of racism.
Absolutely.
There's a lot. Remember, there's good people on both sides. There's bad people. Dude, racists are racists. White supremacists are white supremacists, but there is a little bit of white supremacists and a lot of white people. The bottom line is sometimes there's a little bit in each of us because we're raised that way.
Dago Wop, Guinea, garlic bread, pizza slinging, spaghetti bending, Victimone, Perry Como, Luciano Pavarotti, solo meal non-singer motherfucker.
You gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big thigh, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball dunking, titsoon, spade, mullignan. Take your fucking pizza and go the fuck back to Africa.
You little slanty-eyed, Mino-speaky American, own every fruit and vegetable stand in New York, bullshit Reverend Sun Young Moon, Summer Olympic 88 Korean kickboxing Sabaran bitch.
You Goya bean eating, 15 in a car, 30 in an apartment, pointy shoes, red wearing, menudo, meter, Puerto Rican cocksucker. Yeah, you.
It's cheap. I got good price for you. Near Kachi. How I'm doing? Chocolate egg cream drinking, bagel and deluxe, banana for this Jew asshole.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
Society has got that there's a lot of people that their white daughter can't be with a black man. God forbid.
Right.
So there's a lot of racism in this country. Lots of it. Not that we haven't moved that far. Because look what happened. We put Obama in there. And then look, we took a total swing the other way. And now everything that he's ever done has become an erase, whether you like him or not. So I don't know how much of this is racism, but I think it's mostly racism. I think it's mostly, who the hell does this guy think he is? Making millions of dollars. He is lucky that they give him millions of dollars. And now you want to talk back? You want to disobey the white owners and the white, Godel? You're out. And we'll pay you whatever the hell the court says. We don't give a shit. You are out of the NFL.
They put him in their
and
place.
that's what's going on.
They
right
put him
now.
in their
They're putting
place.
him in his
Almost.
place.
I mean,
and they're telling other black people, if you think you're gonna make a scene, you got another thing coming.
Right. Because nothing. Yeah. Because nobody and nothing is bigger than
our image,
than the NFL.
And our, whatever we want it to be.
Absolutely.
So instead of Godell and all these owners, Kraft and all these white owners, Jerry Jones, billionaire white owners, Godell who makes $50 million.
Could have come out and
they
said,
could have said, you know what, we appreciate Colin's passion. We hope we cannot get the NFL too distracted, but at the same time, we want to give some money to Black Lives Matter. We want to start helping criminal justice. No, they just made it about that rich, arrogant black guy. Who the hell does he think he is? Get him the hell out of here. Blackball him. I don't care if it's collusion. I don't care if the courts say we did something illegal. We will pay whatever we have to. He's not playing another down in the NFL. And that is a tragedy for all that's. And that's my take.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's.
So
Wow.
anyway, I hope
yeah,
we didn't expect that.
Right.
We didn't expect to get all political and stuff. But the bottom line is, he's in the news. So hopefully you guys aren't going to rip us if you're thinking we're unpatriotic or a bunch of tree huggers or something. But But we just think that we'd like to see a great athlete like that on the field making one of these terrible quarterback teams better.
Yeah, well,
and
I think
and the social.
I think we'd like, we're always going to look to take the opportunity to try to expose any hypocrisy that we might find in this world.
Two ball a-holes, bringing you sports, politics, and anything else you can think of.
Right. So Colin Kaepernick, I think where we landed was obviously why Colin Kaepernick ended up where he's at now. You have our thoughts on that. I want to hear the viewers' thoughts on what you guys thought of this workout and everything happened that with Colin Kaepernick now and all that kind of stuff. Because
let us know.
Yeah, I mean, did it make sense for him to continue to bring that to the table, or if he was trying to just simply show that he can still play this game of football, I guess just the question is, would it have been a better decision on his part to have just stuck to football? But then again, I don't know. Then is he a sellout? Is he not being himself? And is he, so
instead of a Kunta Kinte, maybe like a Robert E. Lee shirt or something?
A Donald Trump shirt.
Donald Trump shirt.
Yeah.
Should he have wore a MAGA hat?
In a MAGA hat.
Next to Kanye West.
Done the whole workout in a MAGA hat. There you go.
Of our hopes and our dreams, I'm standing right. People who just want the same things we do. In the land of the free, land of the free, in the land of the free, 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 in the land.
I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
Championship.